Venus in the third house, conversation and connection. Welcome to Venus in the third house in synastry. In this overlay, we explore what happens when one person's Venus falls into another person's third house, the house of communication, thought, daily exchange, and the immediate environment. This is one of the lighter and more delightful overlays in synastry, and it should not be underestimated for that reason. Where some placements announce themselves through intensity or challenge, Venus in the third house shows up through ease, in the pleasure of talking, in the warmth of small daily interactions, in the feeling that this person is simply enjoyable to think alongside. For this reason, Venus in the third house is one of the most underrated synastry overlays, as it is the mortar that holds the bricks that hold a relationship together, a mundane yet important overlay. The third house governs how we speak, how we listen, how we think out loud, and how we move through the familiar rhythms of daily life. When Venus settles here, conversation becomes a form of affection. The Venus person has a natural gift for making the house person feel heard, interesting, and articulate. The house person, in turn, tends to think more beautifully around the Venus person, or at least more freely. From the Venus person's perspective, the house person's mind is attractive. They may be drawn to the house person's way of speaking, their sense of humor, the particular associations they make. There is a genuine delight in listening, and this active appreciation tends to draw the house person out further. From the house person's perspective, the Venus person makes thinking and speaking feel pleasurable. Ideas flow more easily. Conversations feel like a form of play rather than an effort. The house person may find that they are wittier, warmer, or more eloquent in the Venus person's company. At its warmest, this overlay creates a friendship within the relationship, a foundation of genuine conversational companionship. Two people with this overlay often talk for hours without noticing time pass. There is a natural compatibility in communication styles and a mutual enjoyment of language, ideas, and the small shared observations of daily life. This overlay also supports ease in the practical dimensions of relationship, the logistics, the texts, the everyday check-ins. Venus here makes even the mundane feel pleasant. The relationship has a quality of warmth in its daily texture, not just in its peak moments. There are, however, subtle attentions to consider. The ease of communication that Venus in the third house provides can, at times, stay in the shallows. Both people may enjoy conversations so thoroughly that they avoid the harder, deeper exchanges that require discomfort. What feels like harmony may occasionally be conflict avoidance dressed in pleasant language. At its worst, Venus in the third house can denote a relationship where talking about the relationship is prioritized more than actually living it, where the concept of what the relationship could be is more attractive than its lived experience. This can be seen if Venus is unfavorably aspected, unaspected, or in a cerebral sign. The Venus person may also, without intending to, soften their words to the point of imprecision. Venus tends toward the agreeable, and in the house of communication, this can translate into telling the house person what sounds good rather than what is true. This is rarely dishonest by intention, but it is worth noticing. People-pleasing can be a result here. There is also a risk of the relationship remaining at the level of pleasant exchange, enjoyable, but not always deepening. Venus in the third house creates wonderful conversational chemistry, but chemistry in communication does not automatically produce intimacy. That requires a willingness to move beyond what is pleasant and into what is real. At its highest expression, this overlay creates a relationship built on genuine intellectual companionship and affectionate daily exchange. The Venus person enriches the house person's inner world, and the house person gives the Venus person someone truly worth listening to. When balanced, Venus in the third house creates a relationship characterized by warmth in communication, shared humor, and a real enjoyment of thinking together. When imbalanced, it can drift toward pleasant superficiality or the avoidance of necessary difficulty. At its core, this overlay is about the intimacy of conversation, and the discovery that being genuinely heard by someone is its own form of love.
This was Venus in the third house in Synastry Overlays. Thank you for listening. Next, Venus in the fourth house.